So 303 pounds all in is the weighted human flag
Yes,
world record as it stands today.
303.83.
Wow.
And that's a
Okay.
lot of
And so
weight.
you could say that again. So are you going for that?
I mean, I like to push the body's capability weight-wise. Like, how much can I do?
Welcome to episode 3 of The Unlock, a new calisthenics focused show where each week I'll be bringing on a new guest to discuss all things calisthenics. My hope is that by having these conversations and sharing them, it will really help beginners out there make progress just a little bit faster. And we're all trying to unlock these skills. So that's the goal. Today, I am joined by Nolan, who goes by Nolan Calisthenics on Instagram. He and I have known each other for about 5 months purely on socials, and watching his growth has been just awe-inspiring. Not only is Nolan really advanced with push skills, handstands, he's always dancing around on those dip bars, but he is one of the strongest human flag athletes I have ever seen, and he is really pushing the limits on that skill. So we're certainly going to dive into those topics. And on top of all that, what he's training right now, I believe he's going for some world records, which is pretty insane. So we're going to dive into all of that, and without further ado, let's talk to Nolan in episode 3. Nolan, what's up, bro?
What's up, bro? How are you?
Good, man. How's it going?
It's
Nice to
going
meet
good.
you.
It's nice to meet you too. Face to face is a lot better.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. We've known each other for probably 5 months
Oh
on
yeah.
socials and never had a face-to-face conversation. We always go back and forth on the voice
Yeah.
memos. Um, but yeah, man, I'm excited to talk about your journey today. And and yeah, so I mean, we'll just dive right in here. Um, and I'd love for you to kind of take us to the genesis of maybe your entire fitness journey, actually. So just tell us about when you got started in fitness and what brought you to calisthenics.
Oh man, I was 14, 15 when I started. I played lacrosse in high school and they made us go out and be like, "Hey, you have to start weightlifting now for sports." I was like, "Okay." Tried it. I didn't like it. I was also maybe 110 pounds, 100 pounds, super skinny kid, and like never really fit in the weight room. And that was basically my entire high school of lifting, which is I never fit in. So I was like, okay, I don't like the gym. I don't like it at all. Then I went into college, and one of my friends was like, you should try calisthenics. It's got handstands and stuff. It's really good with body weight. I was like, okay, I'll give that a try. I'll go back in the gym and try it. Learned the handstand and was like, I love this. This is so fun. I'm having a blast. And I was like, okay, I want to learn the human flag, and then I'll be done. No more after that. That'll be it. There's nothing else really. Learn the flag was like, okay.
Why human flag? Why was human flag the skill that you wanted
So
to
we
learn so badly?
we have a trainer at the gym I go to, Lifetime Fitness, and he could do the flag, walk it from the bottom to the top, stop, do a pull up, add weights, and I was like, that I want to do that. And he was also 220, just huge man. So I was like, I need to learn that skill. I'll look like him. I was like, I'll be able to get bigger. And I've gained 60 pounds since starting calisthenics overall. Just gained a ton of weight and muscle. And just I never really stopped. I just kept going. Every time I get a new skill, I'm like, okay, well, now I want this one.
Yeah. So how old are you now and how old were you when you started calisthenics?
22, and I started calisthenics at, man, out of right at 21, I would say. November, yeah, yeah, November, right at 21. So I'm a little
So
over a
you've
year, almost to two.
been
This
training, okay.
this November will be two. November 6th is 2 years.
Wow. So, okay, so almost 2 years. I mean, man, to see some of the stuff that you're doing online, and for those listening, highly encourage you to go check out Nolan's stuff on Instagram. I mean, you're always posting just you're dancing around on the dip bars, you're flying on the flags. Like how okay, like I can
Okay.
I can take my pick of where to start here, but like where did you start in kind of approaching calisthenics those early days when you're just kind of like, oh, what is calisthenics, right? And so, what was kind of going through your head on why you decided to go into calisthenics and how you first approached it?
So I originally started with the handstand and the human flag. Those were the two calisthenics skills that I
Okay.
knew of, and they were the only two. that I knew. I didn't know what a muscle up was, none of that. So I didn't even learn the muscle up till 8 months into calisthenics. I had no idea what it was till that
Wow.
far into it. And so I was like, okay, I want to learn the human flag. What do I have to do? And the guy's name is John. He was like, you have to do this. These are the skills you do. I was like, okay. I did a ton of pull-ups, a ton of weighted pull-ups. You preach the weighted pull-ups. I stopped them
I do.
after like 6 months. I just picked them back up and skills are flying. But I was like, okay, I need to get the flag. So I worked a lot. I fell all the time. That is one thing that I've learned to just accept is that you're going to fall. Some of them are going to hurt, but if you're falling, I'm having fun. If I'm falling, I'm doing something new. I'm having a blast.
Yeah. So you're talking about when you say you're falling, are you talking about handstand or human flag or
Both.
both?
When I started the human flag, I
Okay.
would genuinely fall off the bars. Like I didn't
Really?
have the
Wow.
grip strength, so I'd kick up and just attempt to hold and just slip off and
Really?
just eat it.
Wow. Yeah. So how did you, okay, you're training both of those at the same time.
Yes.
So I want to dive into how you kind of, what tools did you have at your disposal to learn those skills? Was it purely just trial and error? Like, hey, I'm like, I know generally how it looks. Let me like figure out the progression myself. Or did you watch videos? Like, what were the things you did? Because I mean, what you're doing in Human Flag now, having only been in the game for like less than 2 years and doing what you're doing, you've not just unlocked Human Flag, you've taken things to the next level. Like what you described is like that amazing story of you seeing someone do it and being inspired to start is a lot of the reason that like I do what I do and you do what you do. Like we
Yeah.
really, you and I have gone back and forth about how inspiring beginners is one of the most like, rewarding parts
The
of
best
calisthenics. So,
feeling.
right? So, yeah, anyway, long question there, but
Yeah.
like, let's break down really what kind of tools did you have at your disposal
Okay.
to go after those skills?
Almost nothing. I like would YouTube a video, but the tutorials, I don't know if you've looked them up. Most of them are just like garbage. They have you do a bunch of skills that you don't really need, and that can actually hinder your progress. So I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing. And I think my human flag videos, all of the beginning is just I grab the bar and I just kick. And I slowly figured out that, okay, my hands got to be here. They can't be like this. They fit here. It was just trial and error for everything, including the handstand. And it took me forever with that method, but I unlocked it really fast once I moved to the next progression of it.
Yeah. Okay. So for handstand and human flag, you really just took a trial and error approach of like, hey, I'm gonna start kicking up. Hey, I'm gonna start kicking out from the bars. Like,
Yep.
let's see what we can do here. Okay. And so which one of those skills do you feel like you made like faster progress on, or talk to us about kind of the trajectory of learning those skills? How fast were you able to get a consistent handstand or like or how quickly did you unlock human flag kind of for the first time?
So the human flag, I believe, was 3 months under. I think it was either right at three or a little bit under, a few days under 3 month mark. And then the handstand was the longest. That one took me 8 months to get. I just could not figure out the balance. And I had the banana back forever, so my holds would never really hold. I just lose it. And then I met Sasha and he was like, you gotta hit, you gotta do this. And then he fixed it. And then my handstands have been beautiful. They've been within, it's about 2 months for me to learn a new handstand skill. That's roughly the time frame for me to learn a new handstand skill at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. So what were the things that worked? Like, if you were to talk to a beginner that wanted to learn these skills,
Yeah.
like, what would be your advice now, 2 years in, for both human flag and handstand? Maybe let's start with handstand
Okay.
because that's one that is kind of across the board. People recognize as kind of
Yeah,
a table stakes skill, albeit difficult. I mean,
it
for me,
is.
it took longer than a lot of the other skills that required just more strength. And so this is where it's interesting that everybody's journey branches off in different ways because for me, it's been, you know, I had this massive strength advantage.
Yeah.
And so the the skills that require pure strength, they're kind of a little bit I can take the shortcut or I've already got all the strength underlying that I need with a few exceptions. I'm
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
I'm working on my push strength. But but uh but others are, who are younger can understand get the balance pieces
Yeah,
a little bit quicker. I've noticed that some people who are, there's a lot of young people in this sport. If
they
you call it
are.
that, 14, 15, 16, and these guys are really, really good at the balance. And I think it's got something to do with their brain development is just able to kind of understand like when they're put upside down and working
Yeah.
on balance a lot, they can grasp it a little bit more. Kind of like when you're younger, it's easier to learn a language almost. Um, but what would be the things that if you were to tell a beginner in human flag or like I said, let's start with handstand, but that you would tell them like, hey, here's how I can shortcut you
Yeah.
to handstand success.
Okay, so I teach a lot of people at the gym.
Yeah.
Obviously, I do yoga and all that. So teaching a handstand is something that I'm very like confident with. And the big thing I've noticed that helps a lot of people is I just tell them when go up to a wall, put your hands to the wall. When you kick up, you can't kick through the wall. So that will eliminate their fear of kicking through and falling. And I'm like, and you want to try to tap your heels. And that's the biggest piece of advice I've given them because people, they struggle with falling over. Just doing that eliminates the fear of falling over. And then you slowly have them go farther from the wall. They no longer have the fear of falling. And now they just kick and kick. And I always tell them to think of touching your shoulders to your ears. That is how you know that you've truly pushed through with the correct form. And that'll also naturally get rid of the banana back. So then really all you have to do is engage the hips and then no more banana back. Helps knock two birds out
Yeah.
with one stone.
Yeah, man. The head between the shoulders thing, that took me way too long to like understand that because I would do stuff against the wall, but anytime I tried to do freestanding stuff, I would in my brain I was a little bit afraid to be kicking up
Yeah,
without the wall there, right? It's like this mental thing. And so naturally your head wants to stay out front because you don't want to fall
it
over.
does.
And that just throws off your whole alignment. So once you can overcome that fear and really get your head down between your shoulders, and point your toes to the sky, like that was really like a big unlock for me. So, okay, what about human flag? How do you approach that skill as a beginner? And I have my own thoughts, but I mean,
Oh.
you're the goat on human flag.
Oh man, that is the skill that I get the most people coming up to me at the gym and being like, I want to try it.
Yeah, how often do you get someone
Every
coming
day.
up to you
Every day.
on
It's
that?
usually two
Really?
or three people. And like we're maxed out. The gym is maxed out of members, and I'm still meeting new people every day. And I go at the same time. That way, like I can just
Yeah.
like work out. I know people know what I'm doing. I won't have to worry about hitting people. Like, it's a fun time. But I always, first thing I start with is hand placement. Everyone's hand placement is different. Some people I've noticed they really like the close grip.
Was this video today?
That was today. I did not feel good today. I felt really weak on the
That is
flag.
just
So
did someone come up to you on that one?
they did. They did. The guy that walked by came back and he said, he was like, I had to make sure, he's like, can you do it again? I was like, absolutely, I did it. He goes, okay, I had to make sure I wasn't dreaming. I had to make sure it could be, it's possible. I was like, it is. He's like, how do I do the flag? I said, okay, first is grip. He's like, how tall are you? He's like, okay, I'm 5'11". I was like, perfect, we're the same height. Your hand will go here and you'll be about 3 feet apart grip wise. That's how I like the flag. And then I'm like, and make sure your hands are stacked over each other. That's very big. That'll keep you from rotating and hurting a shoulder. He's like, okay, cool. I'm like, now think. I was like, do you bench press, weightlift, box? What do you do? He goes, I box. I go, all right, this is perfect. All you have to do is when you punch somebody, right, you engage your core and your lat. He goes, yes. I go, okay, so the bottom one you're going to think of, you're going to punch someone as hard as you can. It's going to engage that lat. And the top one, you're going to think of pulling, and you're going to think of pulling straight through the lat. You're not even going to ignore your arm is there. Think of just pulling through the lat. And I mean, he didn't get it, but he got up and the arm was out, the lat was engaged. And I've been telling people, think of punching that bar, that bottom bar. Just think of slamming it. It'll engage the lat automatically. There's nothing you can do because if you can punch, you'll engage the lat. Or I tell them like, do you bench press? They're like, yes. Like when you bench press, and this goes for the L-sit to handstand too. You don't push with just your shoulders. You'll just hurt yourself. So you want to push through the lat. It gives you a lot of strength, and that always works. Just think of pushing through lat. Some people they mentally can think of the lat engagement. Others, when I'm like they can't get it, I'm like, oh, I think of punching someone, right? Like you punch, you're engaging, you're twisting. It's the exact same with the flag. You will twist on your way up to be horizontal and perfect. And just accept that some holds are going to be lower or higher than others. And I mean, I don't care. Like you grow based on whatever hold you can get your growing strength. And I tell beginners all the time, don't beat yourself up because it's not perfect. You're your biggest
Yeah.
critique by far.
Right. Totally.
You're going to be harder on
I
yourself.
mean, it's insane that like a guy came up to you was like, "Wow, how do you do that?" And within, I'm guessing 10, 15 minutes, you're showing him how to do it.
Yeah.
And he doesn't pop a whole human flag, obviously, but he's, you know, basically on the right path to unlocking that skill. And it's remarkable
Some
that
have popped the
seeing
flag
these.
first try. Oh yeah. Yeah, my gym buddy Ben, he's a really big guy, benches 405s, deadlifts 600, and he popped that like it was we hit a back day and he was teaching me all the weights and stuff to grow my lats because I have really weak lats for pulling wise. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I want to learn the human flag." I was like, "Okay, here's how you do it." And he's 200 pounds. He weighs more than I do. He's a big man. Never done it in his life. Has no idea what to do. First try, got up, like locked his arms out and everything. I've had a few dudes just pop up
Wow.
and they're like, "This is
I
great." I'm like, "Yeah,
that
man."
I think yeah, and beginners listening to this, don't be discouraged if you can't just walk up and pop a human
No,
flag. It's gonna take
yeah,
time to learn,
it's a
right?
tough skill.
But that's crazy. That just goes to show that people that have that like base of strength
Oh yeah,
and right, the right teacher, the right way to approach it. I mean, it's super important. And I definitely think a trial and error approach to some extent is always going to be what you're doing because you're figuring out how to feel a new movement that
oh
you're
yeah,
not familiar with. But these little tools, like, hey, imagine that you're a boxer, imagine that you're punching the bottom bar. Like this can really help people actually visualize and internalize what really they need to do in the movement. And so that is a really cool skill. So you clearly have like an ability to really articulate things that are resonating with beginners. And so maybe talk to us about that. And I know you teach a lot at the gym, handstand, human flag, clearly, and then also you do yoga
I
classes,
do.
if I'm not
I'm not
mistaken.
as flexible as I'd like
Tell
to
us
be.
about that. Tell us about yoga, and for people like me and people listening that don't do
Yeah,
yoga. I mean, I would call myself yoga curious because I was like in high school growing up, I'd be like, yoga, that's for girls. But now I've like, oh my God, because calisthenics introduces a whole bag of,
yeah.
oh, my mobility sucks. Oh, my flexibility sucks.
Breathing too.
How do we improve these things? So tell us about yoga and how that translates to calisthenics and how it all kind of
I
melds together.
I did yoga to work on my breathing. I was like, okay, I can almost do the splits, flexibility's fine. Then I went to yoga and was like, holy crap, and I have no flexibility compared to everyone in this class. I also cannot breathe while I'm doing 90% of the things. And I'm like, they shouldn't be hard. So it taught me how to breathe, worked on my flexibility and joint flexibility, especially with the Maltese I'm learning. I've noticed that my biceps are extremely flexible and they don't feel like they're going to tear when they're stretching, which is yoga. And the breathing is just awesome with all of the advanced skills, like really heavy flags. Just you want to just hold your breath, and I can never find out how to breathe. But if you can breathe, everything
Right.
becomes so much easier because you have blood flow and oxygen to the muscles.
That's something that's so not talked about in
Oh,
calisthenics
not
is
at
like
all.
breathing. And like when I'm in front lever, like when I first learned that skill and I wanted to hold as long as possible,
Yeah.
like I was not breathing. I was just holding my breath. And I always wondered, like, this is probably not good for me. Like I don't like there's a lot of blood rushing to my head right now
Yeah.
and I'm not breathing. So like
Yeah.
this probably isn't good. But I can hold a front lever for 10 seconds and that's really cool. So
Yeah.
tell us about what you've learned from like before that, like yoga, breath work, and tell us more about your breath work and like how does that improve your calisthenics? Like what have you observed and what have you learned?
So when I started yoga, I think my human flag was I was 170 pounds and my human flag was added 15, so about 185. Now I'm 180 in my human flag. I think I got 45 as a good hold. I'll count that one, working on the 55 added to my body weight. But I would never be able to add weight if I could not breathe. Just because you have to engage the lat, and when you're really heavy, you want to engage your legs. All of the muscles are cramping for me. I can feel every muscle. And my big tip for breathing is I inhale 4 times really deep before I lift. I always cut it from the video, but I'm always doing it before I lift. And then I'm up,
Mm.
I'll inhale, I'll breathe out my nose, and I'll take a quick breath in my mouth and then back out my nose slowly. And then I'll just do that consistently. If you ever have a video with sound, you'll actually hear it. It's pretty loud because I'm just going and then out the nose. That way
I
I'm
ha-
not
I
disengaging stuff.
yeah. I have heard that in your videos, and I always wondered like what I didn't know what it was actually. So
That's
now
my
I know.
breathing.
So tell us, just break that down a little bit more. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
how important do you think that is to do? Because like, do I really need to be doing this breath work before?
Yes.
Like, have you noticed
Oh
a
yeah.
noticeable improvement? I mean, no one's doing this, so
Whenever I
tell us.
whenever I go in, so like right now I'm learning the Maltese and like the one arm planche and then obviously the front lever.
We're gonna talk about that.
The front lever is the one that I've noticed when I hold my breath, there's no chance that I have any kind of hold. But when I do the breathing work and I do it, I don't feel like I'm gonna black out. Same thing with the human flag. If I were to hold my breath even right now, I'll black out doing a flag. Just a skill that I do all the time and can hold for almost 30 seconds. After 10 seconds or so, if I let go, I will not be able to see. So the breathing technique for me has allowed me to just hold skills longer, learn more skills,
Mm.
and learn more just overall like just destructive skills on the body.
So, are you still breathing while you're in human
I
flag,
am.
or is this breath work that you do before and it's helped you just hold your breath longer?
So I can hold my breath for a long, long time, but I also scuba dive. That is the only reason I can do
Mm.
it. It does not help with skills that involve locking the muscles because they need oxygen as you go. The breath work of 4 breaths deep and out the nose before I go helps me mentally picture the same exact breaths I'm going to do while I'm in the flag or while I'm in the planche, while I'm in the handstand. The handstand push-up ones are really easy to do the breath. I always do it when I'm at the bottom. I inhale, and then as I go up, I exhale, and then come back down, inhale, go up, exhale, come back down, inhale. And that's works for
Okay.
me. Other people that I've noticed do it, they do it at the top, then come down, do it at the top. Or in the flag, some people will just breathe out their nose. They have the ability to just, they can do it without thinking. I can't personally. So I make it very obvious that I'm trying to breathe, and that mentally
Mm.
lets me just inhale and exhale without disengaging the rest of my body. That's been a
Yeah.
big thing.
If you look at any of my human flag videos, I actually like zoom in on my face and I notice that
Yeah.
like I'm the way I'm breathing is like very
Yeah.
like it looks like a fish almost. Like it's very very light in and out. And so it makes a big difference, obviously, versus just holding your breath. But this has inspired me to investigate better breathing because this is not really talked about, and yet when you're actually performing these skills, like it can be really,
Oh,
really
yeah.
hard to actually breathe. So that's super important. Let's talk about what you're working on today. So
Okay.
you're working on a bunch of stuff. I know you're still posting tons of flag stuff and you're
Oh,
pushing the
yeah.
boundaries on that. I mean, you just posted some, I don't know how much weight now you've got hanging off that flag,
Two
but
240
um,
combined is what I'm trying to get. I'm at 233,
yeah.
234, depending on my body weight. And I just want 240. I'm trying to beat the world record's 303, and I'm trying to just absolutely blow that out of the water. The guy that has it is just crazy. He's got a 3-minute flag, the whole thing, 76 pull-ups in the human, all of it.
Oh my, oh my
But
goodness. Yeah, so you got human flag pull-ups. You've got the walking. I kind of want to talk about the walking too
oh,
because
that one's awful.
I've 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 got these skills, but
Yeah,
I'm not good at like the walking thing is just a cool little like accessory that
it
makes it
is.
look kind of fun. And I've never been able to like really do it. I've got a very embarrassing picture of me trying to like walk up into front
I
lever
have,
that look
oh,
that it more just looks like I'm like
you're
doing
creeping up.
some random
Yeah,
thing with my legs. Yeah.
yeah.
And so it has not been seen or by anyone, but tell us how do you like learn the walking
Oh
part?
boy, that one is just my negative for the human flag right now. I can slow it to almost 40 seconds, I think. So I
Holy
have I made
cow.
sure I had complete control over my body and I make sure I can stop at all 5 points of the flag. before I even began to learn the walking. Obviously, you can do it
What are the
earlier,
5 points?
right at the top. When you start to come down, I'll start to go, I'll maybe get, I don't know, 5 inches off the bar and stop. And then I'll go another 5 inches and stop. And then another one. And then I'm at horizontal,
Mm,
but I've already stopped 3 times before my horizontal. And then at the
right.
bottom, I'm stopping one more time. And then almost right at the bottom, I'm stopping again. And those are just the big points that
Wow.
I've noticed for me personally that I like will lose control of my body. So I wanted to make sure I could stop myself at those points where I lose control. That way, when I start walking, I have full control. I know I'm not just gonna like slam the ground, which I've done a few times. I cannot lie. I have just lost it
So
and
are those
fallen.
the points where you're taking a step, or are those
Yes,
just like,
yes.
okay,
So I've stopped on
okay.
them, but they're also like when I was doing negatives, those were the 5 points I noticed on every video. I'd have to re-catch myself. I did not have
Mm,
control of me at all. And I was like, okay, that's where I'm going to take the steps and I'm going to work on the control. And the step was more of a way to cover the fact that I'm falling because I would be able to catch
okay.
and no one would think, oh, that he's speeding up because he's got to walk. But the walk is so uncomfortable. I cannot lie. It is not as smooth like
Oh,
you're
really?
walking on the ground. It always feels like I'm doing it wrong. But when you think of you doing it
Interesting.
right, it looks just awful. Like no matter what, if you think, oh, I'm just gonna walk on the ground, I'll send you a bunch of videos after this of what it looks like for me when I learned it. But it just looks like I'm not even doing anything. And I think of slamming my heel to the ground. So every time you'll watch me do it, you'll watch my body shake. I'm slamming my heels as I walk. And I'm not trying to pick my knees up. I'm thinking of bringing my heel and slamming it. And that kind of eliminates the picking the knee up, which can make the walk itself look sloppy. Once you get used to what works for you, everyone I've met that can do a walking flag, it's only been 2 people so far, but we all walk completely different. And our walks look the same. They look almost the exact same. Some are smoother than others. Obviously, some have been doing it for 8 years. Some have been doing it for 5. Like it's just a difference of where you're at. And then it's a big thing of what works for you. No, there's no set way to learn how to walk in a human flag because you have different, your feet are duck-footed or not, you're just naturally going to move your legs a different way. And I just got to figure out what works for you. It's just an uncomfortable skill, but I think it's so cool. And I just wanted to learn it right when I started calisthenics. Right when I learned the flag, I tried it and it did not go well. So I had to redeem myself.
I have not even tried it yet, but I'm going to.
It's a fun
It's
one.
gonna
It is
look
a
bad.
fun one.
When did you start adding weight to your flags?
Oh man. Once I got to 25-second holds, I started adding weight because the flag, like, it's just I just can't, I have not been able to figure out the breathing technique to get above 30. And so adding weight allows me to stay right at about 10, 5 to 10 seconds while working. Like, I don't think my form gives out a whole lot, except for the last one where I added a ton of weight. My upper arm kind of like gave out the lat gave out a lot, but it's just a great way.
So I never would have even thought about adding weight to a human flag until I saw your stuff. Where did you get the idea? Like, did that pop into your head naturally? Like, oh, I can just put a weight belt on, or did you see someone do it and
No,
you were like,
someone told me they couldn't do a human flag, or I could only do a human flag because I was under 200 pounds. I think I was 178. Yeah, I was almost 180 because I got sick when I got into the group with everybody that's in it right now, the group chat, and then I gained it all back. But he was like, it's because you weigh less than me. That's why you can do it. And I'm a huge believer in it doesn't matter how much you weigh. If you can do calisthenics, that's insane. Like, it doesn't matter what skill it is. But I was like, okay, like, I feel like I could add weight. So I found out how much, like, he was like, okay. And it's one of my friends, but he genuinely was like, if you can do it at my weight, I will learn it. I was like, that is all I need to hear. I'm now going to do it at your weight. How much do you weigh? He's like, 205. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get to 205 flag. When I do, you have to learn it. And now he's learning it with me. I got it, he's got to learn it with me. But it took trial and error of where to put the weight. You can't put it too high. I do put it at my feet every once in a while. I'll put like a 5 or a 10 on my feet. But the hips is where the world record is held at. So I was like, if that counts for the world record, that's where I'm going to start training weighted flags at. And
okay,
they use a
let's.
vest, not a belt. But
Oh, okay. So, in terms of what you're doing today,
okay.
what are your main priorities? What are
Oh
those things?
man.
Let's talk about those world records and let's talk about Maltese. and let's talk about front lever. What are all the things that you've got on your plate right now?
I have it on my phone actually all of them. I have front lever is number one. There's no it literally has it says front lever. It is in bright red and it is at 46 font while everything else is 8 in white. That is a skill that I don't know why I cannot do it. I didn't like it when I started it. It genuinely was just so hard the first week of calisthenics that I was like, I'm gonna come back to you. And I never did. Now I am. I'm getting there. It's definitely harder for me. Just I don't have like the back strength that I would like to have. I'm mainly a huge push athlete, as you know, you've seen all my stuff. That's my main stuff is push. So I really want the front lever. I have the handstand flag was one I wanted to relearn. I haven't done that since I was 170 pounds. So I had to re-strengthen my tendons and the arm to do it. Got it today, so that's checked off. The one arm planche, something I'm working with my buddy Sasha on just for fun. He's learning it. Might as well. He's doing it. Figure out what the progressions are while I'm doing it. The I don't have thumbs. Anybody who watches my stuff, I doing stuff on my thumbs is kind of just asking for disaster, even if it's just a normal planche. I did just dislocate my right thumb doing the planche. Uh,
Tell us about your thumbs.
they, I got
What
them
happened?
fixed. I tore the tendon on this one. You can see the hole in the hand. And now it just can freely, I won't do it, but it can pop that way. Just there's nothing really holding it. So if I do a skill and I'm forced to go this way with a thumb like a planche, there's no thumb. So I cannot do a planche the normal way. So I'm having to learn it supinated. And I was like, okay, I don't want to learn the supinated planche right now. What's next? And Sasha was like, whoa, you hurt your thumb. You should try the Maltese. And that's actually the only reason I'm learning it is because he was like, you have the protraction and stuff. And he's like, and it's like a back lever with the planche. It does not feel like a planche in the slightest, which I was really surprised about. Feels like it's 150% biceps. I cannot lie.
So what have you learned? So how many days are you into Maltese journey, and what have you
I
learned
took
there?
4 days off on day 8. I'm going back to it on Monday. I'm letting my arms rest, kind of fried it out with lifting weights and stuff. But I definitely learned that when you engage it, if you like, so you do a planche, right? Or you do the advanced tuck and stuff. You don't really think anything of your elbows, like at all. The Maltese, you're trying to touch your elbows to the ground. That's how you lift up. You're trying to touch your elbows to the ground. That is the lift up. And it's just awful. The first time I did it, I couldn't get the lean. So the first day was figuring out the lean. Now I've got the entrance with the lean. I'm getting wider. I'm now as wide as I would like to be. And now I'm just working on just overall strengthening the tendon slowly but surely to get up. But the big thing was your hands facing just this way, but the opposite. And you cup your hand. Yeah, that's not even my favorite hold, but I think that's my negative one that I liked. Yeah.
That's the last one you posted.
Yeah, that one was, I was
Um,
feeling really bad that day too. I even went up the band again. Yeah, that one was my favorite. I didn't know, Sasha told me to try that, gave it a shot. I didn't even know what it was, but that one hurt. I cannot lie. That one was, I've never done a skill that took that much out of me. And I think I weigh
it
140
seems
pounds in the
like,
band.
yeah, okay, so it's still 140 pounds?
So I weigh 140 with the band. I did all the
Okay.
I'm a
Wow.
huge math nerd. I did all the math, all the physics for how much the band is stretching, how much does it weigh, how much exactly am I taking off, even at the angle. So it's
Wow.
about 38.6 pounds is what I found. So about
How long did it
140.
take you to do that math?
10 minutes.
Good at math, eh?
I'm really good at math. It's like my, you'd think it's why
That
I'm good
sounds
at push
complicated.
skills. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. But I wanted to know how much I weighed to
Yeah.
see how far I was from genuinely beginning to just eliminate the band and do really wide grip handstands as a negative. Start doing the negatives. And I was like, okay, I'm not even close.
So, if I'm not mistaken, you're also working on a one arm elbow lever
Oh
world
yeah.
record, or am I wrong?
Yeah, that one I have secured by like 50 pounds.
Really?
I'm just trying to just exceed the number by as heavy. I believe the world record's not even held by Guinness, it's by a secondary company, and I'm getting mine done by Guinness on October 2nd. They're done by a secondary
Wow.
one, and I was like, they wanted like $100 to beat the record. I was like, yeah, no, like I don't care that much to do it. I just want to see what it is and beat it. Like I do not care. And then Guinness was like, it's $2.50. I was like, that one I can do for an attempt. That's nothing. I'll do that. And if you guys say it doesn't count, then it doesn't count. I can't really argue with you. But that one is October 2nd. I haven't decided the time yet, but that one I'm excited for. That one was tough to get good at, actually.
So you actually have the capability to do it, but they're going to actually come out and
They're going
measure
to
it,
come
or
out,
how does it
they're
work?
going to come out, weigh my weights, weigh me, so to make sure I'm not lying about my weight. So I'm probably going to cut down to about 175 pounds, maybe just lose 5 pounds, just fat. And because
Does this go in the book?
it will go. I do not know if it goes in the book. I do get a certificate though. The human flag one, it was 250, and I failed that when I did it when it came down here, and then it just got reset at the beginning of this year for 303 pounds. And I was like, okay, now I have more work to do. But the guy that held it, he's done doing weighted human flags. He just tore his lat. He's done. So I no longer have true competition.
Is that something you're worried about? Tearing your I mean, so 303 pounds all in is the weighted human flag
Yes,
world record as it stands today.
303.83.
Wow.
And that's a
Okay.
lot of
And so
weight.
you could say that again. So you are you going for that?
I mean, I like to push the body's capability weight wise. Like, how much can I do? And
You can do it.
I think I can. I believe if I genuinely just try hard enough and give it my all, I don't really care if I get it. But if I know that I'm giving 100% on the lift and I fail by like 40 pounds, I'm still so happy because I gave 100%. That's my big
Yeah.
thing is you just got to put ego
That
aside and whatever you think you did 100%, it doesn't matter if you failed or something, you did 100% and that's what matters. And that's how I go through calisthenics. Doesn't matter if I fail a skill, oh, I dislocated a thumb and people saw me fall and eat it. Oh, well, it don't matter. It does not matter to me. I'm just out here having fun and every skill I learn, that's all of them. Even the Maltese, I think
yeah,
that
no,
one
I
killed me a few times. I've eaten it a few times with that one.
yeah, with your face kind of right
Oh yeah.
in front of the floor, it's bound to happen.
There's no good way to end like exit it. I just fall right on my face every time. I've learned to look forward so I kind of hit here and avoid my chin and stuff, but
Was there ever a time in calisthenics that you felt like you were actually discouraged, or have you always had like a really strong mindset of just, hey, I'm having fun, I'm eating it? I mean, has that always been the case, or was there ever a time where you felt kind of embarrassed in the gym, or like you were really progress was slow, like I'm incapable, or did you ever have those thoughts running through your head that made it kind of that you had to battle against and overcome?
not really. No. I kind of was like this is something I want to do, but I also had a ton of people come up to me while I was learning calisthenics and they were like I've never seen anybody even attempt this. Like you're gonna get it. Like, and one guy, he doesn't go there anymore, but he would come up to me every single day while I was learning the L-sit to handstand. And just, he would come up to me and be like, you're sinking a little bit too much. Like, you've got it. You're just sinking a little bit too much. And I was like, okay, yeah, he said I got it. I got it. I'm right there. And that one took me forever too, but I didn't know what I was doing. But people kept telling me I was doing great, doing great. I think that really helps. But also, I have a ton of videos of me failing and I'm smiling. Like today, during the one-arm planche, I absolutely ate it and busted my nose. But I was smiling. I was like, okay, I'm trying something new and I'm falling. Who
I mean,
cares?
it's incredible. Yeah, no, I'm just amazed by how much you have on your plate, like these advanced skills that you're trying. I mean, world record human flag is what you're
That
going
one's the
for.
tough one to
You're
learn
going
for.
for Maltese, where you're already using a like pretty light band, let's be
Yeah.
honest, and you're headed in the right direction there. I mean, I see your updates every day, and then, you know, one arm elbow lever, all the handstand stuff that you're doing. I mean, you're literally going after like some just really, really always raising the bar on yourself, which is really, really
Which
amazing,
you have
dude.
to be
I
careful
hope
with.
to be that.
You
You
do have
do.
to be really
And so
careful
I
with that one.
actually I just recorded one of my next Instagram
Yo,
reels where I'm talking about one of the one of the big mistakes you can make as a beginner is trying to progress too fast. And you
Oh
do
yeah.
have to go at a steady pace, and otherwise you face injury, you face getting discouraged. For me, the mental, piece of things is a component. I mean, I'm not immune to feeling like, oh man, like, why am I not getting this?
Oh
Like I'm
yeah.
not
We all
immune to
have
like the
those.
frustration,
Yeah.
we all have those moments.
That means you're
Um,
really into it, is what that means. If you don't have it, you're not really into
yeah.
it. You're here for fun. That's not a bad thing. But you showing the emotion shows that you're truly about it. You truly know that you can do it, and you're giving everything you can to get it.
Talk to us about the push side of things. I mean, you talk about that being your strength, and we haven't really touched on too much of the push stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, tell us about like what how did you unlock like L sit to handstand and kind of where you're at with one arm handstand? Have you kind of taken your foot off the pedal there, or like where does that fit into your priorities? And just tell us through kind of take us through the genesis of your push
Okay.
skills.
I will start with one thing that'll probably piss a lot of people off. I've never done dips ever. I have never done a dip.
Wow.
I did them for the first time and I got like 3 plates for 8. Um, which is different than my pull up, which I'm currently at a single plate for 8. But I have never done a dip. I just like I never when I started calisthenics I couldn't do one, and I was like, okay, but I can do push-ups. So I did a ton of weighted push-ups at all the different grips, including like just like the weighted planche. I did planche push-ups, but weighted, like the with the feet on the ground and stuff that everybody does. I did those with weights, and then when I began learning the planche, my tendons were already strong enough from doing it to take it step by step. That one sucked, but overall, the L sit to handstand was just trial and error. I got it. This is gonna bother you. I got it my 4th day, I think. Yeah, it was within a week. It wasn't clean. It wasn't great. It wasn't perfect. I perfected it after like 8 months, where I would go up in slow and perfect handstand. But I don't know. I'm huge on you have to eat it to get it. And that just anytime I'd fall, I would look at it. I have tons of videos of me just absolutely eating it. I stopped with a few skills like the front lever, just it was just months and months of fails. You told me to pick it back up, and I am. I have just as many fails as before, but I'm seeing progress, so it's not as bad. But some skills I recommend that you do take videos. The sit the handstand is one of them. And if you're doing a ton, whichever one you think is your best one of the day, keep that one. Whichever one you think is your worst one of the day, you keep that one. And you compare. Sometimes the worst one, the form will look way better than your best. And you have to figure out, am I missing strength? What am I missing? For my L sit to handstand, I did not have the shoulder strength or the tricep strength originally to do it. So I would get up. I had the lat strength. I would get up, but then I just can't do anything. I'm just stuck in the tucked handstand. I can't get out of it. And so I did a ton of wall handstand push-ups to eliminate that. I didn't know what pike push-ups were. I couldn't do dips. No one thought to tell me that dips were like actually important until about 8 months into it. When I actually started getting the stuff on my Instagram and was like, oh wow, this would have been great to know. Dips are huge. I do them now and skills have skyrocketed. I'm learning the fingertip handstand push-up right now with it, and dips are just, I swear by dips. I'm sure you do too, but I love
Yeah, I
dips.
mean,
That's the big
I've
thing I wish I
I've
did.
okay, I need to is inspiring me to get back on my dip game too, because I mean that was a staple in my body weight
Yeah.
training. I mean, weighted pull-ups, weighted dips. I was already doing weighted calisthenics before I really stepped into calisthenics or really knew even what calisthenics was. It was that was just purely from a weightlifting perspective. I was doing weighted dips, but with all these skills now entering the fray, like I don't have time. It's like today I had weighted dips in my program. It was the one exercise that I skipped because I
Oh,
had just so I
yeah.
know it
No,
was
I did
making
this.
a
I've done the
mistake,
same thing. I've done the same thing.
but I felt like I had to do it. I was like time crunched
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
anyway, so but I'll just, I'll do it tomorrow. And I have right now kind of a weird program where I have actually weighted pull-ups and weighted dips on the same day. And it's so heavy and it's so
That
much
just,
load, and it's like, it's a lot of work,
oh,
but
yeah.
I may not get too much sympathy from you because you're adding weight to pretty much everything
No,
that you do.
weighted pull-ups, I swear, I don't know what it is. They take so much out of me. And I do end with it. I do end with them too. So I end my day. Like I've never done them to start. I'm sure I could get more than a plate, but I always end with weighted pull-ups until I cannot
You have
do
to.
anything.
You have to. If you start with heavy weightlifting of any kind before you do your,
Yeah,
calisthenics
you just
skills
can't
work,
do it.
you're gonna be this is not the right approach. Yeah, I found that out
Yeah.
early on. I mean, that's you I just told someone that on a call today. I mean, you cannot, they said that they do handstands at the end of their training. I'm like, well,
Unless you can
that's
do
not gonna
them
be ideal because
really well, you can't. Because I did chest yesterday
yeah.
for the first time, hit weights, bench PR'd, did it all. Tried a straddle planche, which I have gone for 10 seconds consistently, and I started to come down, and my chest, shoulders were like, I don't know what you think you're gonna do, but we're not in it today. And I don't think I've fallen like that in months. But
Yeah.
just the
So,
amount that it
okay,
takes out is crazy.
what have you learned about planche?
Oh man, that one I've learned that my thumbs are a big hindrance to my planche. I also learned that you can, if your thumbs hurt, do not keep pushing. To anybody listening, take it from me who's dislocated both of them 4 times. Do not keep pushing on the planche. Because I was like, there's no way they dislocate, right? It's a planche. They're sitting out. I did it the other day on my actual only full planche hold. Got it, locked the arms, and then the thumb popped out, and there went the
Oh my
hold.
God.
So I'm learning the supinated, but I've learned that the just protraction is just uncomfortable. It feels weird, and you have to constantly think about it unless you're just naturally really strong at protraction, or else it will go away. Like I have really good protraction, but like full planche almost eliminates it on the negatives. I have to constantly think of this time I'm thinking of slamming my shoulders to my hips and then to the ground. And that's how I think of it. That way I have the depression and then this protraction of the lat, getting it out. If not, I'm not going to hold it and I don't have protraction. And Sasha, my lifting buddy, he'll be like, hey, you didn't have protraction. I'll be like, hey, I felt like I had it until I got almost all the way down. Why didn't I do it? He's like, were you thinking of protraction? I go, no. He goes, oh, yeah, I could tell you didn't have any. Like, okay, all right. But just the lean, however far you think a lean is, you're not leaning as far as you think. That one I have noticed. Like, I've thought I have my hands to my knees, and I look at the video of the straddle, and I'm like, I didn't even lean far enough. I'm still too high. I'm just fully relying on protraction in my arms instead of my lats. Banded push-ups are
So,
really good too for protraction. Doing a planche banded push-up because you have to get rid of protraction. Then in order to hold at the top, even with the band, you have to re-engage it. I've been doing those. They're really good.
okay. So, you can where are you kind of at with planche right now? You said a straddle planche for
Straddle's really good. I'm working on
okay.
getting my thumbs back into it slowly. My full
So,
planche will be making an appearance when I can figure out how to hide my thumb. Because right now it's
mm,
the video I did was upstairs and it was beautiful, straight from the front. You could see it at the angle, so you could see everything. Arms were straight. I was flat. You also can 100% see my forearm vein go, and then you can hear and see the thumb pop up. So after the last one, a lot of people were like, you know, this just sounds awful. This one was 10 times worse sounding wise. It wasn't too bad injury wise. It just sounds way worse because I sprained all the tendons in the thumb as well. Actually, I can't touch. So there is a knot. You can see it. Actually, I don't even know if you can see it on the video. There's a knot here of the tendon, and then obviously I have the hole, and then there's this one here is gone. But so I'm learning supinated at the moment, and that one tells you how far you're leaning. There's no wrist anymore. It's all arms. No more wrist.
for beginners that want to learn planche,
Wrist
what do
flexibility.
you what do you recommend? What's your how my whole thing is like how often do I need to train planche? Because a lot of I've heard that if you seriously want to unlock planche as a beginner or anytime you want to get serious about unlocking planche, it kind of needs to be not only just your number one focus in the skills realm, but like almost kind of exclusively what you work on. Is that
Yeah.
true? Or
Yeah.
were you working on other stuff?
For that one, I was working on 90 degree, like deep, deep 90 degrees, almost to a dead hang. for the push-up, and that one works the lats, as well as I have to get protraction. So that just increases protraction. Sasha said if I was trying any other skill, I 100% would have not gotten the full planche. At the time that I did, I stopped my back lever skills and everything to truly focus on planche because I've tried to implement all of them with a full planche, and you feel like you did something for your shoulders, so your shoulders are kind of sore, or like your arms are kind of sore, or your lat is just sore enough that you can't get the hold. And so when I started doing it all by itself, the holds and stuff got better. Thumbs hurt more, but the holds were better, leans were better. I didn't feel sore when I was doing them. I realized I have to warm up more. I had to fix my lean, so I had to get shoulders. So I did a ton of just planche focused shoulder work, which is just a ton of really weird dumbbell stuff. I'm telling you, it looks weird, but it's great. And then once I got it, I started getting the full planche just slower the negative. The negative got slower and slower and slower. So eventually I would begin to kind of hold it. I would start shaking, hold it, fall forward, needed more shoulders. Once I implemented it every other day, I just made leaps and bounds and progress. I've been trying to learn the full planche for almost 6 months now.
Okay, so but go into a little bit more detail. So what were you
Okay.
doing every other day, and what was the 90-degree dead hang? Can you
So the
explain that?
90-degree push-up is if you do it on the ground, you basically will come down, get rid of all protraction. You will just like sit on the ground and you'll come to a 90-degree hold, except you're not holding yourself up. Everything is on the ground. And then you'll re-engage everything, come from 90 degrees, do not bend your legs, nothing, and you'll come right back up. But I was doing them on not the small parallettes, but kind of the ones in between. I like really high parallettes. Some people like the small ones. This was at a middle one, and I would just go down, and so my arm was way behind. You could fit another hand and a few inches behind my arm and my hip, and then come back up. And that just felt like it worked the erector muscle right at your lower lat just infinitely more. That one was really good. It's apparently a really good progression for the lat strength needed for the plant because you have to stay locked with your lats the whole time you're there. If you don't, they'll just give out and you'll just fail. But when I had the first 3 months of planche training, I did was doing, oh, I want to learn the one arm back lever. Oh, I want to do I want to I want to get the wide grip muscle up. I want to get the close grip muscle up. I want to do all these pull skills. And my lats would just constantly be fried to the point I couldn't do it. So I was like, okay, you have the shoulder strength for straddle, you're missing something. But you do all these skills, so you shouldn't be missing anything. You have all the progression skills with ease. So I took a week off of the gym, came in, did planche, got straddle first time. After taking the week off, I was like, okay, I'm gonna focus only on this skill. And then my secondary day would just be like form work. I would look at my videos, see, okay, this kind of sucks. I'm not flexible enough. Work on flexibility, and then go do the planche. Flexibility, planche. Flexibility, planche. And then once I got more consistent with the straddle, I was like, okay, now let's implement more skills. And I'd see what skills would work while I'm trying to learn new planche skills. But the full planche, I took I think it was 2 weeks straight of just doing the planche. I stopped doing handstand push-ups, stopped doing one-arm handstands, just really focused on the planche. And then got it after 2 weeks of just only targeting it.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I want to be respectful of your time. I got some just kind of
Yeah,
quick fire questions
okay.
to close this out here. Some kind of fun stuff to just maybe that we wouldn't usually get through just seeing your Instagram page. So, I always like to ask people like, are you a morning trainer or do you train in the morning or at night and why?
Man. I train midday, middle of the day.
Okay.
And my reasoning is I can't work out if I've not eaten. I can't do it. But I don't want to eat too much. I've tried night when I'm full. I don't I feel lethargic. In the morning, I'm hangry. And then so right in the middle has worked really well for me. I eat, then wait 2 hours to go to the gym, and then I eat right after.
Okay. And what just let's just touch on eating for a second. Do you have any strong thoughts there about diet? Like what do you tend to eat? I know you're kind of in a slight bulk. Am I
Yes, I've
mistaken?
just started a lean one. I did a dirty one for 2 months just to gain a little bit of fat that I could turn into muscle because I did not have a lot of fat on me. I think it was at 11% body fat, and I just don't feel good when I'm low body fat. I got a ton of just, organ issues, so I can't do low. So I'll do a dirty bulk to get back to a little bit heavier for me. I'm at 13 right now. I did drop a little bit, but my dirtier bulk, I normally will just eat chicken, rice for breakfast with eggs, and then beef and rice with eggs for lunch. And then I'm going back to chicken and rice. Right now I'm sick of chicken, so it's beef and then pork and rice. I really like pork. It's low fat, high protein, and I love rice. If you can't tell, I really like rice. I like brown rice though. Brown over white. I've heard it's better for you. I don't know how true that is. But I love brown rice. I just like the taste better.
What's one skill that you love watching other people do? Like, what's your favorite skill that you like
Oh my gosh,
to
I
see?
like to see people unlock the human flag, like by far. I'm sure you've noticed that.
I
Like, if
love
you
that
can
answer.
do it
Yeah.
on a pole, I think that's the coolest thing in the world. I don't care. Because, like, I still struggle to do it on a pole. So to see other people do it with ease on a pole, I'm like, that's insane. That's so
I think
cool.
it's easier. I think it's easier on a pole,
Real,
and I think
I,
you should try. I think
yeah,
there's more surface area. The bar is wider, so there's kind of more grip, and it's almost like you're. It was unintuitive to me at first because I thought it would be harder because I was picturing like grabbing the pole, but
yeah,
really it's more of like a like yes, you're pushing with your bottom arm,
yeah,
but there's more surface area to actually push against, and then with the top arm, I'm kind of just like this. I'm kind of
yeah.
cupping it, and so it's actually kind of very
I'll
supportive.
have to try that
So
actually.
yeah, yeah, you should. But in terms of learning it, I still think probably horizontal bars
Oh yeah, by
is going
far
to
the
be
best
better
way to
to
learn
for
it.
learning it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
One of my gyms has the
Um,
poles, and it's just a struggle to teach people on it.
yeah, it's hard. That would be
Yeah,
hard
the
to learn it on
mind-muscle
a pole, I
connection's a
think.
little harder. I've noticed they struggle a little bit more with how to push on the pole, especially if
Okay.
they start to slip. Then they just go, "I'm gonna get hurt," and they're done. Then they never touch it again, which is understandable.
Yeah, I mean that is understandable. It if you get discouraged, that's mostly why people quit is
It is
because
the
they
first
don't
6 months.
unlock something on day one or
Yeah,
on day two, and each day is an opportunity to end your workout and say, I'm never doing this again,
yeah.
or I can't do it,
Me every
right?
leg
And
day.
just walk away.
What if I just don't do this again?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I know, right? That's. But calisthenics athletes can get away with that a little bit
Oh
if
yeah,
I mean,
I can skip
I
one here or
my
there.
leg day is definitely it exists at least.
Yeah,
At least my leg day exists. It's in the program,
yeah.
okay? It's just how hard am I going,
I
right?
like
This
the
is the
strength
question. How
training
much
for
intensity?
legs. Keep them small, but make sure they're strong.
Yeah, how are you able to deadlift? You do all this and you still deadlift. Like, how much do you
I
deadlift?
got 444, no, 455, and then I threw up, so no one has seen it. I threw up to get it. I completely fried. I went today and got
Stop.
it.
You threw up
Yeah, 455 all over myself. I felt really bad for like the
in the
gyms.
gym.
I felt bad for the gym staff. I cleaned it up, but I did feel bad. But I that is how you know it was a true max.
Oh.
But 455 is my deadlift PR. I'm at 350 for squat, and I did just get 225 on the bench press. And I don't think I
Insane,
haven't
man.
benched in a year, actually, since I started calisthenics. I went from 150.
You are a true hybrid athlete, but it's not just like hybrid and versatile. It's pushing the limits on everything, man.
I just, with,
It's really
people
inspiring.
just kept saying you can't do both, and that just like made me be like, I absolutely I can. If you can't do both because it pushes the body too hard, then watch me do both and push my body hard. It's more of like I know I can do it, and people saying like this is not possible. I'm like, well, now I have to show you it is. But the squats usually throw people off. And I have really small legs. Anytime that I squat above 315, people are like, how? I'm like, I don't know. My calves won't grow. I don't know what to tell you. I swear I hit them.
Yeah, calves are super
Oh
genetic.
yeah,
They're
they're I have
and
really long
yeah.
Achilles tendon.
Yeah, it's super hard to get them to grow if like
Yeah,
I think calves are a stubborn muscle, but I'm certainly no expert there. But yeah, I mean, I've seen people with really skinny legs like just have insane squat strength.
yeah,
And honestly, what you're doing, yeah, being the hybrid athlete that you are is really inspiring. And I would say to beginners out there, like don't feel like you need to put all your chips on the calisthenics table, or like fitness is what you make it. And you can just come into calisthenics and say, hey, I just want to learn one skill like you did, right?
Yeah.
You just want to learn human flag and handstand. And then it blossomed into other interests, and I encourage that. And if you find a new passion in calisthenics, then like so many of us have, it's gotten, it becomes addicting.
Oh, it does
But
really
that's not to
fast.
say, yeah, but like I'm always gonna love the weightlifting side of it.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
so weighted pull-ups, weighted dips, like these exercises will always be in my program, because if nothing else, I just enjoy doing them.
Yeah.
And so
If you're
not
having
only are they
fun,
beneficial for calisthenics, but yeah,
my motto is if you're having fun doing what you're doing, absolutely do it. Like a lot of
I
kids,
know.
a lot of kids that
You
I'm
said that.
teaching,
Yeah.
they do like the few of them do the human flag now, and that's the only calisthenics they do. But they're like, my lat pull downs have gotten stronger and my bench press has gone up since doing this, and that's it. I'm like, it can help. It helps both. I think they complement each other. I keep seeing the calisthenics like is better than weightlifting or weightlifting's better than it's like whatever you have fun with. And I'm sure you hear me say that
Right.
all the time. I tell people that if you want to do both, do both. Don't be stupid with both, but figure out what works for you, and that's really all that matters. That's okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny debate, because it's
Oh
like,
yeah,
oh, which one's better? And then the natural follow-up question to that is, better for what? And better for
exactly,
who?
exactly.
Right? So no one wants to define these things, but people want to, engagement farm. I'm not immune to that.
It
I
works.
like
It works.
the clickbait,
Yeah.
right? And that's how this game is played to some
Oh
extent, right?
yeah.
You gotta rope people in, and then
Yeah.
hopefully when they're actually paying attention, you can teach them something valuable.
Exactly.
Um, but I agree with you. It's like there's no right answer, right?
There's
There's
not.
clearly no right answer. And I do both, and you do both, and I,
I
I
love
think
both. I
picking a
love it.
lane is great, but
Yeah.
intersecting them is great too.
Yes, some of my friends
Um,
they just could get into calisthenics. They've tried to do bodybuilding. They're like, I just don't really like it. I'm like, that's fine by me. Like I don't like to just lift weights to look big. Like I like to be able to do calisthenics and lift weights. Just gotta for everyone has their own thing. And that's I feel like a lot of people today like miss that. Like, oh, he does it because he's smaller, but like, okay, but he also lifts weights. You can't just look at someone and go, well, of course they do calisthenics, of course they weightlift. Like, you'd be surprised. There's some weightlifters I see that taught me calisthenics that you'd have no idea if I pointed to them. Like, yeah, this guy does flags. Like, you'd look at me and tell me I'm crazy, and I'll put money on it that this guy can do a flag.
yeah, that's what I love. It's like people never expect,
No, the sleeper strength and sleeper builds that calisthenic athletes have is like
yeah,
underrated.
yeah. I mean, I actually feel like I'm in that camp, because so
You're
far,
shredded. What do you mean? Every time I see
well,
your
dude,
physique,
so you say that, dude, you say that, but like if I'm wearing, so
yeah,
these tight, the trick is, the dirty secret is, like these tight fitted shirts and wife beaters make me look a lot bigger. But if I'm wearing like a regular t-shirt, or I'm out there or whatever, by all means, like I've got kind of a small frame, and that's part of why I've been effective in calisthenics. But like I'm not this massive guy, and so in bodybuilding, I always actually felt a little bit behind the curve. I
yeah,
always felt a little bit discouraged, and so that's part of why calisthenics now feels like such a home to me, because hey, like I'm actually making progress quickly, and like I'm actually good at something, and the community is a lot more fun,
yeah,
and the skills are much more fun. And but yeah, I mean, if you can believe it, like I always felt like just kind of a small guy in the context of like bodybuilding. I mean, there's some insane
oh
physiques out
yeah.
there, but
I mean, being 180, there's
but
dudes at the gym that are 180 that if you put us next to each other, you'd say I weighed 130 pounds, maybe, maybe.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
compared to them, they have like 20-inch arms and stuff. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. We weigh the same and they're just bigger. Some people just genetically have gifts that other people don't, and you just can't hold that against yourself.
You got to
Yeah,
yeah, you got to play with the cards you're dealt, but you can
exactly.
improve your hand, right?
Oh
If
yeah,
if
for
you
sure.
yeah. So, what's your final message to someone just starting their journey today?
Every time you fail, smile. Just have fun. If you're failing, smile because that means you're growing. If you're not
I love
failing,
that.
add new skills. You're too complacent. One of the two. Unless you're having fun being complacent, in which case there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to grow, add skills if you're not failing. That's what I do all the time.
That's awesome, bro. You're seeing your content, your growth, everything has been so inspiring,
I
and
appreciate it, man.
I can't wait to see what you do next. What's the date for your world record attempt?
Uh,
When are we gonna know if you
October
got it or not?
2nd. Oh boy, that can take them up to like a year.
Okay, but we
So,
can see. We'll
yes,
see. We'll be
yes.
monitoring your page on October
So
2nd to see how things go.
I'm debating on doing like an Instagram live or something, or if because I don't know
Okay.
if I'm going to be able to engage with people like an Instagram live would be really beneficial for, and I'd feel bad like people are trying to be engaging and I'm like I not even on my phone, and I'd feel awful. So I'm debating if I want to do an
Well, you
Instagram
need to
live
do what you
or
need to do.
yeah, but I can also be engaging. I like to be that way at the gym. Like a lot of skills, like yeah, I don't know if you can see some of them, but I am talking to someone 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Like all the skills. That's also the way I breathe. I talk to people. But October 2nd, I don't know if it's going to be Instagram Live or if I'm just going to do like breakdown videos of, oh, we're setting up. They're weighing the weight. Here's how fat I am today. I actually didn't lose the 5 pounds I said I would. So it's going to be up a little bit more, but yeah, it'll be fun. I'm excited. It's
That
a
is
trip.
exciting,
It's
man.
fun.
I'll be watching for sure.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, man. Yeah, thanks so much
Yeah,
for joining the
absolutely.
show. This has been
It
so
was a
fun, and
blast.
we'll have you back on and and check back in
Yeah.
with you and see all the amazing progress you've made, man. Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. All your stuff is inspiring too. I'm seeing it every day. It's making me do more. It made me do the front lever. It's making me hit the front lever again.
I'm taking credit when you unlock that skill.
Oh yeah, you're getting all of the credit. You and Sasha are getting both of it. You're the only two really helping me with it. So
Oh, thanks so much, man.
yeah,
Yeah, thanks
absolutely.
for coming on and have a good rest of your
Yeah,
night.
you too. Peace, bro.